Hi everyone. It's been a bit of a crazy week. This week's video is not quite as polished as normal. I haven't had as much time to sort of go over my thoughts as I usually do, but I just wanted to talk to everybody a little bit about this week's Parsha, the Torah portion of Teitzei. The first pasuk in this week's Parsha says, Teitzei lemelchama aloivecha v'nasno Hashem elokecha biyadecha. When you go out to war with your enemies, Hashem will give them to you in your hand. The Chazal, the rabbis, are all pretty unanimous in agreeing that this pasuk was not specifically written for the IDF. It's not just about a physical army going out for a physical war. It actually refers to the internal battle that each and every one of us wages each and every day against our Yetzer Hara. In the book of Ecclesiastes, or Koheles, we're told that there is no one in the world who only does good and doesn't sin. So that should make each and every one of us feel a bit better. It's not just me. It's not just you. It's everyone. We're all in the same boat. Last week, we spoke about the idea of taking responsibility and saying that, yes, I'm not perfect. I do things wrong. And this week, we're going to talk a little bit about naming them, figuring out exactly what they are, because this pasuk doesn't say when you go out to war. It says when you go out to war against your enemies, you need to know who your enemy is. So I'm going to mess up time frames and all this kind of stuff here. But Napoleon, who was by far one of the most amazing generals and people who led an army in the world, if he didn't know he was going out against the Romans, the Greeks, the Macedonians, Genghis Khan, anybody, how is he be able to fight them? If you were going to fight guerrilla terrorists, or you're going to fight an army that's trained and has, all sorts of fancy equipment, it's a completely and totally different strategy. So each and every one of us needs to know, who is my enemy? Who am I going out against? Is it anger? Is it pride? Is it jealousy? Is it lust? Is it laziness? It could be laziness. I don't know. Maybe that's the thing. And each one of these things is going to take a different strategy. The way I'm going to deal with my anger is very different than the way I'm going to deal with my laziness, right? They're two totally different things. Also, we need to learn from the physical world that when you spread yourself too thin and you're trying to fight on too many fronts, you always end up losing. We know so many wars in the world where that's done somebody in, and we don't want that to happen to ourselves either. So now we have this month of Elul, where we can come up with a real strategy. First off, we're going to name all of our enemies, and then we can come up with a strategy of, okay, well, I'm going to deal with this first, and this is how I'm going to deal with it. And then I'm going to deal with this, and then I'm going to deal with that, and these are the different ways. And the thing that should make us feel the best is that at the end of the pasuk, it says, "V'nasno Hashem elokecha biyadecha," that Hashem is going to give us our enemies in our hands. We're told in Shir HaShirim that if we open for Hashem a portal of teshuvah as small as the eye of a needle, He will open for us a portal of teshuvah that is so wide that wagons can go through it. And that's a way for us to understand that if we really want it, if we sincerely desire to be able to be better, then even though it's going to take knowing our enemies and figuring out a strategy, Hashem is right behind us. He's going to give it to us in our hand. That's part of what this month of Elul and Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur is all about. Turning to Hashem and saying, here I am. Here are all my Yetzer Haras, but you told me in Parshas Teitzei that if I go to war with them, and I'm going, Hashem, I am going to war with them, you told me you will give them to me in my hand. So now, over the course of this year, these are my enemies, and these are my strategies. Hashem, put them in my hand for me. So I hope that each and every one of us over the next few weeks of Elul will gain a little bit more perspective on exactly who we're up against and how we're going to deal with it. And we could also have the comfort of knowing that Hashem is going to be right there behind us, helping us fight each and every way, and He's going to give us our enemies in our hands. Wishing everybody a great Shabbos.